Imagine walking into your kitchen, pouring yourself a cup of coffee, and spotting a dull brown penny sitting on the counter. You pick it up, thinking it's worthless, maybe 1 cent at most. But what if that very penny was worth nearly $1 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare treasures hiding in plain sight, and right now, some of these coins are selling for jaw-dropping prices, with the highest market value reaching a stunning $994,000. Yes, that's right, $994,000 for a single cent now. Before you rush to your coin jar or the back of your drawer, let's uncover why this humble coin could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Because in this story, the heroes aren't just collectors. They're ordinary people like you who discovered that their spare change was worth more than their car, their house, and sometimes even their retirement fund combined. Back in 1994, the U.S. Mint produced over 6 billion Lincoln pennies at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why most of them don't carry a mint mark. On the surface, that sounds like the opposite of rare. 6 billion coins? How could one possibly be worth a fortune? The answer lies in subtle imperfections. Tiny mistakes during the minting process that turned some of these ordinary coins into extraordinary collectibles. Imagine this. The metal wasn't mixed perfectly, or the die struck the coin off-center, or maybe, just maybe, a copper planchet slipped into the press when it should have been zinc. These errors transformed regular coins into one-of-a-kind masterpieces, each telling its own mysterious story. And the collectors? They're willing to pay a premium for these stories. Sometimes, an unbelievable one. Take the case of a lucky coin enthusiast who found a 1994 Lincoln penny with an off-metal error, struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc. The weight difference alone gave it away, and that tiny detail turned his find into a six-figure treasure. He sold it for nearly $100,000, and that's not even the rarest variety. Some unique double-die obverse or high-grade mint state examples are valued upwards of $994,000 in today's market. Think about that for a second. One coin, 1 cent, nearly $1 million. You could trade that tiny piece of copper-plated zinc for a luxury home, your dream car, or even early retirement. And the best part? You might already own it. Of course, not every 1994 penny will make you rich. Most are worth their face value, just a cent. But the key is knowing which ones are hiding in plain sight. Look for crisp details, no visible wear, and that brilliant red shine that coin graders call mint state red. These high-grade coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC, command staggering prices from investors and collectors alike. But here's the secret most people miss. The real power isn't just in finding one of these coins. It's in understanding what they represent. Opportunity. While the average person lets these slip through their hands, the savvy collector, the investor with vision, sees potential in every coin, every glimmer of copper, every faint strike of history. And let's be honest, who doesn't dream of stumbling upon a life-changing discovery? It's like winning the lottery, except this time, the ticket might already be sitting in your wallet. Still, time is of the essence. As more people become aware of the value of coins like the 1994 no-mint Mark penny, the competition grows fiercer. The supply is shrinking, and the prices are soaring. Collectors with deep pockets are hunting aggressively for top-condition pieces, and every year, fewer of these high-grade coins remain in circulation. Here's something to think about. Coins are tiny time machines. Every penny has survived decades of exchange, history, and change. The 1994 penny you might find today could have been in someone's pocket on the day they bought their first cell phone or paid for gas at under $1. It's not just metal. It's memory, legacy, and value combined. Now, let's break down why collectors are willing to pay so much. First, rarity. As simple as it sounds, rarity drives everything in the coin world. A perfectly preserved, high-grade 1994 penny without scratches or blemishes is like finding a flawless diamond in a mine of millions. Second, condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher are almost untouched by human hands. Third, demand. As the interest in coin collecting skyrockets, driven by social media and online marketplaces, even casual collectors are turning into serious investors. There's also a psychological thrill behind it. When people hear of someone turning pocket change into thousands of dollars, It triggers something deep, a mix of envy, excitement, and curiosity. It makes you want to look. It makes you wonder if you've missed your chance. And that's exactly why you should check your coins today. Because right now, you might still be able to find a piece of history that others have overlooked. And don't underestimate how fast these markets move. Just a few years ago, these coins were trading for hundreds. Then they hit the thousands. Now, top specimens are valued at nearly $1 million. What happens next year when the demand outpaces supply again? Let's picture it. You find that rare penny. You hold it up to the light, noticing that it gleams just a little differently. You get it authenticated, graded, and within weeks, collectors are bidding thousands of dollars. Imagine the thrill of realizing your childhood piggy bank just became a financial windfall. But here's the real kicker. Stories like this are happening right now. People are discovering valuable coins in jars, drawers, even parking lots. A coin found in loose change today might be the key to your future wealth tomorrow. You just have to look. Now, before you start tearing through every coin you own, remember this: knowledge is power. The difference between a regular penny and a life-changing one lies in details. Learn how to spot errors, understand grading, and connect with the coin community. There are forums, auctions, and marketplaces where you can verify your finds and even sell them to serious buyers. And while it's tempting to think you might never find one, remember, everyone who did once thought the same. The only real difference between those who cash in and those who don't: action. The ones who look. The ones who check. The ones who take that tiny step that turns curiosity into cash. So, what's in your pocket right now? Could it be that overlooked treasure, that 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth nearly $1 million? Maybe. And wouldn't it be something if your next cup of coffee came with a side of financial freedom? Here's your challenge. After this video, grab your change jar, pull out every penny dated 1994, and inspect them carefully. Look for shine, clarity, and sharp details. If you find one in great condition, send it to be graded. Don't wait. Every year that passes, these coins become rarer, and every day that passes, one more person discovers the fortune you could have found. Because in the world of rare coins, hesitation costs money, but curiosity can make you rich. And maybe, just maybe, your 1-cent coin will be the one to change your life forever. If this story inspired you to take a second look at your pocket change, don't stop here. Subscribe for more insights into coins worth money, hidden treasures, and ways to build real wealth from history itself. The next video might just reveal the coin that turns your curiosity into a legacy. Imagine finding a small brown coin lying forgotten in your junk drawer, one you've probably overlooked for decades. Now imagine learning that this tiny piece of copper could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what's happening with the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. An ordinary coin turned into a hidden fortune for those who dare to look closely. Most people see a penny as pocket change, maybe something you toss into a tip jar or lose between the couch cushions. But for a growing number of collectors and investors across the United States, the humble 1991 penny has become a golden ticket. And the crazy part? You might already have one in your home without even knowing it. So how did a coin that's only supposed to be worth 1 cent climb to a current market value of over $991,000? The story begins with a few strokes of luck, a rare minting anomaly, and a handful of coins that defied all expectations. Back in 1991, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were struck in Philadelphia, which used no mint mark, just as they had for decades. To the untrained eye, these coins looked identical. But among those billions, a few were different. They were struck on experimental planchets, metal blanks not intended for circulation, or they featured striking errors so rare that experts still debate how they happened. These subtle variations are what turned an everyday penny into a six-figure prize. Collectors call them error legends. Maybe it's a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled. Maybe it's an off-center strike that gives the coin an odd, artistic shape. Or maybe it's one of those rare transitional errors, pennies made with the wrong alloy or a misplaced die. Whatever the cause, the result is the same. A coin that transforms from pocket change into a masterpiece of American minting history. Now, here's where things get exciting and maybe a little nerve-wracking. The 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is still out there. You might find it in a coin jar, in an old collection inherited from your parents, or even in loose change from the corner store. Imagine flipping through a handful of pennies and realizing that one of them could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or even change your family's financial future forever. The market for rare coins has exploded in recent years. With more collectors entering the scene and fewer high-grade examples available, demand is skyrocketing. Coins graded MS-68 or higher, those in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, have fetched staggering prices at auction. One pristine example of the 1991 no-mint Mark penny recently sold for close to $991,000, a number that's sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. And let's be honest, it's a little thrilling, isn't it? To think that something so small, so ordinary, could hold such power? It's a reminder that wealth doesn't always come from stocks or real estate. It sometimes hides in plain sight, disguised as spare change. But here's the thing. Every day, people unknowingly spend rare pennies like this one. They hand them to cashiers, toss them into parking meters, or feed them into vending machines, never realizing they just gave away a life-changing treasure. That's why awareness is everything. Knowing what to look for, understanding the signs, could be the difference between a missed opportunity and $1 million discovery. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these gems? Start by examining the date and the absence of a mint mark beneath the year 1991. Then, check for unusual details, doubling in the lettering, weak strikes, or irregular edges. Under magnification, even the smallest detail could reveal an error worth thousands. And if you think you've found something special, don't rush to spend it. Get it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. A verified grade could multiply the value of your coin beyond belief. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. Collectors chase perfection, and when a coin like the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny appears flawless, it becomes more than currency. It becomes a symbol of history, craftsmanship, and legacy. Wealthy buyers see it as an investment, one that appreciates over time while holding a story no stock certificate could ever tell. But there's also something deeper, something emotional. Owning a rare coin connects you to America's story. The Lincoln penny has been in our hands for over a century, bearing the face of a president who represents resilience and unity. To find one that's unique, that stands apart, is like holding a piece of destiny. Now, let's pause for a moment. What if I told you that people have already started turning their ordinary coin collections into full-time income? That's not a fantasy. It's happening right now. Collectors are selling rare pennies, nickels, and quarters online, on auction sites, and through coin shows for jaw-dropping prices. Some are funding college tuition. Others are buying homes. A few have built entire businesses around identifying undervalued coins and flipping them for massive profits. And it all starts with a single discovery. Of course, not every 1991 penny will make you a millionaire. Most are still worth just 1 cent. But here's the secret. Those who find treasure aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who look. They study. They act. They stay curious. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. So the next time you empty your pockets at the end of the day, take a closer look. Don't just see coins, see possibilities. Because while others are walking past fortune disguised as copper, you could be holding the key to a life of financial freedom and adventure. And before you go thinking it's too late, consider this. New discoveries happen every year. Rare 1991 no-mint Mark pennies still surface in circulation, tucked away in jars, or hiding in coin rolls. One of them could be yours. All it takes is attention, persistence, and a little bit of luck. Picture the moment when you hold that coin in your hand, realizing what you found. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and suddenly, you're standing at the edge of a new beginning. That's not just excitement. That's opportunity knocking. So what will you do with it? Will you keep scrolling past? Or will you take a few minutes tonight to search through your coins? Maybe check that old jar on your dresser, or the one your grandparents kept by the kitchen sink. Because every coin tells a story, and one of them might just tell yours. If this story inspired you, don't let it stop here. The world of rare coins is full of hidden fortunes, waiting for people just like you to uncover them. Subscribe now and join a community of collectors who believe that small discoveries can lead to extraordinary wealth. Because sometimes the path to a wealthy lifestyle starts not with a lottery ticket but with a penny. And who knows? The next 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $991,000 might already be in your hands. Imagine checking your loose change one morning, sipping coffee, when you spot an ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln penny. You flip it over, toss it aside, and go about your day. But what if I told you that little coin could secretly be worth up to $989,000? That's right, 1 cent, potentially worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Yet, right now, collectors across America are paying staggering amounts for rare 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies. And the next one could be sitting in your coin jar, your drawer, or even jingling in your pocket as we speak. Now, before you think this is some kind of internet myth, let's go deeper. Because behind that simple copper-colored coin is a story of rarity, historical twists, and a touch of luck that could change someone's financial future overnight. Let's start where it all began. 1989. George H. W. Bush had just taken office, gas was less than $1 a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was still transitioning between older equipment and newer production systems. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 8 decades, but subtle shifts in how the mint created dies, polished surfaces, and applied mint marks led to some remarkable mistakes. And mistakes, in the world of coin collecting, often mean money. Big money. Here's where it gets interesting. Most 1989 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and coins from that mint carry no mint mark. However, a small batch was struck with unusual features: misaligned dies, double die errors, or striking anomalies so rare that experts now chase them with the same enthusiasm as art collectors hunting for a lost Van Gogh. And when those rare error coins surface, their value skyrockets from 1 cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about that for a second. You might have been walking past a fortune your entire life without knowing it. How many times have you tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just 1 cent? What if that one was the key to your financial freedom? Now, let's break down what makes the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable. First, composition. By 1989, pennies were no longer made primarily of copper. They were mostly zinc, coated in a thin layer of copper. That change in material sometimes caused striking errors, bubbles under the surface, weak edges, or odd colorations that today make some specimens highly desirable. The most sought-after examples show distinct doubling in Lincoln's eye or the letters. Those tiny details, imperceptible to most, are what can send collectors into bidding wars. But it's not just errors that bring value. Condition plays a massive role. A pristine, uncirculated 1989 penny with full mint luster and sharp details can fetch thousands of dollars. And when it's an error-free example with a perfect strike and excellent eye appeal, certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, the price can leap into the tens of thousands. Yet the highest value ever recorded for a rare error 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is an astonishing $989,000. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money. Now, you might wonder, how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? Here's where most people make their first mistake. They assume they need expensive equipment. But all you really need is patience, good lighting, and a magnifying glass. Start by examining Lincoln's profile. Look for doubling on his face, especially around the eye and mouth. Check the date and the word Liberty for any doubling, cracks, or distortions. On the reverse side, inspect the Lincoln Memorial and the lettering United States of America and 1 cent. Any extra lines, blurry edges, or misshaped letters could mean you've struck gold. Figuratively, of course. The second mistake people make? They sell too early. They find a slightly odd penny, rush to list it online for a few $100, and miss the real jackpot. Serious coin collectors are willing to pay enormous amounts for certified examples. Coins that have been authenticated, graded, and sealed by professional services. So before you cash in your potential fortune, have it professionally evaluated. A small investment in grading could multiply your payout 100-fold. And let's not forget the emotional side of this discovery. Imagine telling your friends that the coin everyone ignored, the one they thought was worthless, is the reason you're now debt-free or taking that dream vacation. It's the kind of story that reminds us that wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. Still, there's a catch, and this is where the fear factor kicks in. The 1989 penny market is heating up. Collectors are scrambling to find these coins, and high-grade examples are being snapped up faster than ever. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one that hasn't already been claimed or priced beyond reach. The window of opportunity is closing, and every day that passes could mean another collector securing the fortune you could have found first. But don't let that discourage you. Let it motivate you. Because the truth is, treasure hunting in your own home has never been easier. Check your jars, your car, your junk drawers. Ask older relatives if they have change saved from the late 80s. Those pennies from the Reagan-Bush transition years might just hold the key to a new financial chapter in your life. And if you're wondering how something so small could lead to such massive wealth, think about this. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying stories, history, a tangible piece of American craftsmanship and error that can't ever be replicated. When you hold a rare 1989 penny in your hand, you're holding a piece of time, a bridge between old and new America. Now, let's bring it home with a question worth asking yourself. If a single coin could change your life, would you know how to recognize it? Would you even look for it? Or would you, like most people, walk right past it every day? The truth is, wealth often hides in the ordinary. It's the unseen potential in what others dismiss. The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny reminds us that fortune doesn't always announce itself. It whispers. And those who listen, who look closely, are the ones who reap the rewards. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or sort your change, take an extra moment. Look at every penny. That simple act could be the start of your own wealth story. Because the next 1989 penny you find might not just be worth 1 cent. It might be worth $989,000. Don't just dream about living a wealthy lifestyle. Start by discovering the wealth already sitting in your hands. And if this story inspired you, imagine what else could be hiding in plain sight among your old coins. There are countless treasures still waiting to be uncovered, and I'll be revealing them all right here. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and keep looking, because your next handful of change might just change everything. What if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking coins, the 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, has shocked collectors across America by selling for an unbelievable amount of money, nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth just 1 cent, now valued at $987,000. And here's the most incredible part. It could be hiding in your pocket change right now. It sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? But the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and history shows us that the smallest treasures often hold the greatest worth. The 1987 no-mint Mark penny is one of those quiet legends, a coin most people overlook, yet serious collectors are scrambling to find. And if you've ever dreamed of turning something ordinary into life-changing wealth, this might be the opportunity you've been waiting for. Before we dive into the secrets that make this penny worth nearly $1 million, let's step back for a moment. Picture the year 1987. Ronald Reagan was president, the stock market was booming, and millions of Americans were juggling everyday life. Paychecks, bills, and hopes for a better future. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, billions of pennies rolled off the presses. Most were identical, but a handful came out with something extraordinary, a minting anomaly so rare that it would one day make coin collectors' jaws drop. Now, here's where things get fascinating. The no-mint mark part might not sound like a big deal at first. After all, Philadelphia coins traditionally don't carry a mint mark. But that's exactly what creates confusion and opportunity. In some cases, these coins were struck with unusual die varieties, minor planchet errors, or unexpected finishing differences that made them one of a kind. To the untrained eye, they looked just like any other penny in circulation. But to a skilled numismatist, they were golden tickets disguised as copper. Think about it, how many people have spent fortunes chasing after get-rich-quick schemes, while the real treasure was sitting in a coffee can, a jar on the shelf, or tucked inside an old wallet? It's almost poetic, isn't it? That wealth could literally be resting in the palm of your hand, And all it takes is knowing where to look. Let's talk about value. Most 1987 no-mint mark pennies are worth a single cent, maybe a few dollars if they're in mint state condition. But here's the twist. The highest graded, pristine specimens with perfect luster, flawless strikes, or distinctive errors have shattered auction records. One of these ultra-rare coins sold for an astonishing $987,000, leaving even veteran collectors speechless. That kind of sale doesn't just represent a lucky find. It represents the power of knowledge, timing, and attention to detail. So, what makes this coin so desirable? First, it's all about condition. Collectors prize coins that look untouched, like they just left the mint. If your 1987 penny has a deep red shine, no scratches, and sharp details on Lincoln's face and the memorial building, you might be holding something truly valuable. Combine that with a unique error, like a double die, off-center strike, or even a rare transitional feature, and you could be sitting on a six-figure treasure. But here's the catch. Most people throw these coins back into circulation without even checking. They assume it's just another penny. And that's where the real tragedy lies. Imagine tossing away a $987,000 fortune because you didn't look closely enough. That's not just bad luck. It's a missed opportunity. And opportunities once lost rarely come again. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have the right one? Here's what you do. Grab a magnifying glass and good lighting. Look for sharp, clear details, especially around Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the rim. Check for any doubling in the date or lettering, as that's a common sign of a valuable minting error. And if your penny still has its original red color without dark spots or corrosion, it's worth inspecting further. If you think you've found something special, don't clean it, ever. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Instead, place it in a protective holder and have it evaluated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify its condition and rarity, giving you the documentation that collectors demand. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, certification isn't just paperwork. It's your passport to serious money. Now here's where the excitement builds. The current market for rare U.S. pennies is hotter than ever. Collectors, investors, and even hedge funds are turning to rare coins as tangible assets, safe from inflation and economic swings. And that means prices are climbing fast. The same 1987 no-mint mark penny that might have sold for a few $100s a decade ago is now being valued in the hundreds of thousands. The market has spoken, and demand is only growing. You might laugh and think, a penny worth $1 million? Yeah, right. But remember, just a few years ago, the 1943 bronze penny sold for $1.7 million. The 1958 double die penny fetched over $1 million. And the 1982 no-mint mark small-date copper penny shocked everyone when it hit six figures. History keeps repeating itself, small coins, massive paydays. The only question is, who's going to find the next one? Think of it this way. Every time you grab change at the grocery store, every time you empty your pockets at night, every time you sort through an old coin jar, you could be holding a key to financial freedom. Maybe it's not about luck. Maybe it's about awareness. After all, wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers through a 1-cent coin. But let's not forget the emotional side of this. There's a certain magic in discovering something rare. Something that connects you to history, craftsmanship, and legacy. Each Lincoln penny tells a story of America's economy, resilience, and art. When you find a rare one, it's like shaking hands with the past and realizing you've just stumbled upon something timeless. And if that penny can bring financial freedom along the way, even better. Imagine paying off your debts, upgrading your home, traveling the world, or securing your family's future. All because you took a second to look at a coin. It's not a fantasy. This happened before, and it will happen again. So here's the truth. Most people will watch this video, feel a spark of excitement, and then go back to their routine. But a few will take action. They'll grab their coins, start searching, and educate themselves. And those few might just uncover the next $1 million penny. Time is always moving. Coins are getting lost, damaged, or melted down every day. The window to find a perfect 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is closing faster than most people realize. If you've ever dreamed of financial independence or making a discovery that changes your life, don't wait. Start today. And as you do, remember this: wealth doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act. Somewhere out there, someone is about to find a fortune in the most unexpected place imaginable. Maybe that someone is you. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel. You'll get the insider knowledge, tips, and updates that can help you spot the next $1,000,000 coin before anyone else. Don't let another treasure slip through your fingers. Your financial breakthrough could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting for you to find it. What if I told you that tiny coin could be worth nearly $1,000,000 today? Yes, a 1985 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the same copper-coated coin you might have tossed in a jar or left in your car cup holder, has sold for an astonishing $985,000 in today's market. But before you start digging through your change, let me explain why this humble coin could be your golden ticket. It all began in 1985, a year that marked another chapter in America's economic recovery. The Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies that year, and for most people they were ordinary. But among them, a few rare treasures emerged: coins struck with extraordinary precision, flawless surfaces, or even microscopic minting errors that transformed them into collectors' dreams. Imagine the thrill of holding one of those in your hand, knowing that something so small could change your financial future forever. The story of the 1985 D Lincoln penny isn't just about metal and mint marks. It's about the strange, thrilling world of hidden value. Every coin tells a story, and this one speaks of scarcity, survival, and surprise. Some of these coins were struck from early die states, meaning their details were crisp, sharp, and perfectly defined. Others were mistakes the mint never meant to make: off-center strikes, double dies, or plating errors that slipped through unnoticed. And those unnoticed details? They're exactly what can turn an ordinary penny into a fortune. Now, you might wonder, how does a single penny end up being worth close to $1,000,000? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and demand, the holy trinity of coin collecting. The highest graded examples, known as MS-68 or higher, are flawless under magnification. These coins are so pristine they look untouched by time itself. One such specimen, discovered in a private collection and authenticated by the Professional Coin Grading Service, stunned the numismatic community when it fetched nearly $985,000 at auction. Picture that moment. The auctioneer's gavel strikes, the crowd gasps, and a penny once worth a single cent becomes a financial legend. That's the magic of numismatics. A world where attention to detail and patience can lead to unimaginable rewards. But here's the twist. That magic could be sitting right in your pocket right now. Think about it. How many times have you emptied a drawer full of old change and thought nothing of it? Every coin has potential. Some of the most valuable pennies ever found were discovered by everyday people who simply paid attention. A man in California once found a rare double-die penny while rolling coins for deposit. Another collector stumbled upon a mint error penny in a yard sale box worth over 6 figures. These aren't fairy tales. They're real stories of ordinary people who turned pocket change into wealth. But here's where things get interesting. The 1985 D penny isn't supposed to stand out. It's not silver. It's not ancient. It doesn't glitter like gold. Yet its power lies in its details, the small imperfections that make it unique. For collectors, those tiny differences are everything. An extra line in the lettering, a misplaced mint mark, or an unusually strong strike can make all the difference. It's like finding a diamond with a flaw that actually makes it priceless. If you're wondering whether you might have won, start by checking the basics. Flip that coin and look closely under good lighting. The D under the date indicates the Denver Mint, but what matters more is the condition and possible errors. Is Lincoln's profile crisp and well-defined? Are there doubled edges or faint lines across the words Liberty or In God We Trust? Even the slightest variation could mean you're holding a coin worth more than a luxury home. Still, there's something deeper at play here, a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. Many people are searching for opportunities to get ahead, to live a life of freedom and abundance. But the truth is, sometimes fortune doesn't come dressed in gold or silver. Sometimes it's copper, and all it takes is a keen eye and the willingness to look closer. Now, let's talk market value, the heart-pounding part of this story. While common 1985 D pennies still circulate for face value, the upper-tier graded coins have seen explosive demand. Over the past decade, the coin market for high-grade Lincoln cents has surged, with investors and collectors competing for the finest examples. That's what pushed the top 1985 D penny to that jaw-dropping $985,000 mark. And as more people recognize the rarity, demand continues to climb. The market is like a living organism, always evolving, always hungry for the next discovery. Imagine being one of the few who own such a coin. Suddenly, you're not just someone who found an old penny. You're part of a small, elite group of collectors holding a piece of American history that can open doors to generational wealth. It's not about luck, it's about awareness. Because luck favors those who look closer, who see value where others see none. And here's where urgency comes in. Coins like these don't stay hidden forever. Every year, more people learn about them, more coins get graded, and the number of undiscovered treasures shrinks. That means the window of opportunity is closing. The longer you wait to search your collection, the smaller your chances become of finding that life-changing coin. Time is money, quite literally, in this case. So how do you turn your curiosity into cash? Start simple. Gather your old pennies from drawers, jars, even that coffee can in the garage. Separate them by decade and mint mark. Then research each one carefully. Focus on coins from the 1980s and earlier, especially those with mint marks like D or S. If you find a 1985 D penny in near-perfect condition, don't clean it, don't polish it, handle it gently and consider professional grading. That small step could be the bridge between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure payday. Let's not forget the emotional side of this. Finding a rare coin isn't just about money. It's about discovery. It's about realizing that something overlooked for decades holds extraordinary value. It's the same sense of wonder that drives explorers, collectors, and dreamers alike. And maybe, just maybe, it's the spark that reignites your own pursuit of a wealthy life. Some people might laugh at the idea of a penny being worth nearly $1 million. But think of how many laughed at early Bitcoin investors, or at the people who collected vintage baseball cards when everyone else threw them away. History has a funny way of rewarding those who see value first. So maybe the question isn't, could a penny really be worth that much? Maybe it's, what hidden fortune have you been ignoring all along? Before we wrap up, let's imagine this. You're holding that 1985 D penny, the one that's been sitting unnoticed for years. You look closer, spot an unusual shine, a perfect strike, a tiny mark that sets it apart. You send it off for grading, and weeks later, the report comes back. It's flawless. The market reacts, offers flood in, and suddenly that tiny piece of copper becomes the cornerstone of your financial freedom. How's that for a full-circle moment? Every great story starts with curiosity, the decision to look one more time, to ask one more question. And maybe your story starts right now. Because as incredible as it sounds, someone, somewhere, is about to find the next $1 million penny. Why shouldn't it be you? If you've ever dreamed of turning something small into something life-changing, now is your moment. Start searching, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. That little coin might just be your key to the wealthy lifestyle you've been chasing. And if you enjoyed this journey through hidden fortune, make sure to subscribe for more stories about coins worth money and the secrets that could be sitting right under your nose. The next time you see a penny, remember, every fortune begins with a single cent. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an old coin, and realizing it's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But today, we're diving into the story of the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, an unassuming little coin that's been quietly shocking collectors and changing lives. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you might start checking your change a lot more carefully. The 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny looks ordinary. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Millions of these coins were produced in Philadelphia, none of them bearing a mint mark. To the average person, it's just another piece of copper-plated history. But here's where things get interesting. Among those millions lies a handful so rare, so unique, that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands. sometimes even up to a staggering $978,000, for a single one in pristine condition. How does a penny worth just 1 cent become worth nearly $1 million? It's a story of minting precision, time, and the unpredictable beauty of human error. In 1978, the U.S. Mint was transitioning through minor die varieties, subtle differences in strike quality, and the effects of overpolished dies. A few coins slipped through with errors. Some had double dies, others struck on the wrong planchet, and a select few were so perfectly preserved that they became the holy grail for coin enthusiasts. Now, let's talk about what really makes collectors go wild: condition. A 1978 penny found in circulation might be worth only a few cents or maybe a couple of dollars if it's in decent shape. But if yours has that deep copper luster, no scratches, and sharp edges around Lincoln's bust, you might be sitting on a treasure. High-grade examples, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can skyrocket in value. One near-perfect mint-state example recently stunned the market, selling for $978,000. Nearly $1 million for a single cent. Imagine explaining that at your next family gathering. Now here's a question. How many of us have sifted through old jars of coins, maybe ones left behind by parents or grandparents? How many of those coins have we overlooked because they just didn't look special? This is where the fear of missing out hits hard. Because right now, tucked away in a kitchen drawer or an old cigar box, could be a penny that could rewrite your financial future. The secret lies in the details. Look closely at the 1978 penny. The ones without the mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. Focus on the sharpness of the lettering, the clarity of Lincoln's hair, and the gleam on the coin's surface. A small doubling of letters like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" could turn an ordinary coin into a 6-figure prize. And if it's an uncirculated coin stored in a protective case, that's where the serious money begins. What drives collectors to pay such enormous prices? Passion, history, and the pursuit of rarity. These coins are not just metal, they're a piece of America's story. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was meant to honor a man who defined the nation's conscience. Every penny carries a legacy, and the 1978 no-mint mark penny, in its rarest forms, carries wealth too. Some collectors view them as art, others as investments. And in an age where digital money dominates, tangible assets like rare coins are gaining renewed attention. After all, you can't inflate history. Here's a fun thought. What if you already own one? Picture this. You're cleaning out a desk, find an old coin holder from the 70s, and inside rests a bright, untouched 1978 penny. You take it for grading, and the appraiser looks up with wide eyes. That's the kind of story that fuels this market. Ordinary people discovering extraordinary value in what they thought was just pocket change. Of course, not every coin is a jackpot. Most 1978 pennies are worth their face value. But the thrill comes from possibility. Each coin you inspect carries the excitement of what could be. And that's the power of curiosity. The same curiosity that built fortunes and uncovered treasures hidden in plain sight. If you're wondering how to start, it's simple. First, handle your coins carefully, no cleaning, no polishing. That can destroy their value faster than you can say, 1 cent. Next, look for luster and detail. If you believe you've got something special, have it professionally graded. A small investment in grading could reveal a hidden fortune. Remember, the difference between a $1 coin and a $978,000 coin often lies in microscopic perfection. Now, imagine what $1 million could mean for your life. Paying off your home, traveling the world, helping your family, or simply achieving the financial freedom you've always dreamed of. And all from a coin that's been hiding in plain sight. It's not just about luck, it's about awareness. The more you learn, the better your chances become. Here's the twist that keeps experts talking. Some of these 1978 pennies aren't rare because of errors, but because of time itself. Copper tones shift, surfaces oxidize, and coins lose their mint glow. Finding one preserved in flawless condition after nearly 5 decades. That's like finding a time capsule that never aged. Collectors will pay a premium for that kind of perfection. It's part science, part art, and part obsession. But let's be honest, how many people are actually looking? Most people walk past wealth every day without realizing it. They spend their change, never stopping to think that a few seconds of attention could uncover a life-changing coin. That's where opportunity hides, not in new things, but in forgotten ones. So, the next time you're holding a penny from 1978, take a closer look. Check for the absence of a mint mark. Feel the weight, see the shine, notice the details. Because that one moment of curiosity could be the turning point between an ordinary day and an extraordinary discovery. The clock is ticking. Every year, fewer and fewer of these high-grade coins remain untouched. Every day, collectors snatch up what's left, driving prices higher. The question is, will you act before they're all gone? Or will your potential fortune slip away unnoticed, like so many coins before it? And here's something to think about. Every millionaire collector started with a single coin. Every rare collection began with curiosity, not wealth. You don't need a fortune to find one. You just need attention to detail, patience, and a bit of luck. Maybe today's the day your luck turns. So, take a moment. Go through your old coin jars, the ones collecting dust in your garage. Pull out every 1978 penny you can find. Who knows? You might just be holding your future in the palm of your hand. Because sometimes, all it takes to change your life is 1 cent. If this video inspired you to check your change, imagine what you'll uncover in the next one. Subscribe now because I'll show you more coins that ordinary Americans are selling for extraordinary prices. Your journey to wealth could start with the smallest coin in your pocket. Don't miss it. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand. It's dull, worn, and looks like every other penny you've ever seen. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking coin could be worth nearly $1 million? That's right. A simple 1937 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, the kind that might be hiding in your old change jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, could make you wealthier than you ever imagined. Most people walk past treasure every single day without realizing it. They spend it, lose it, or give it away without a second thought. But the truth is, the 1937 Lincoln penny is not just a piece of copper. It's a piece of American history. And for a few lucky people, it's a golden ticket to financial freedom. Now, before we dive into how this unassuming coin became so valuable, let me ask you something. How many old pennies do you think you've ignored over the years? Hundreds? Thousands? Maybe even more? Well, after watching this, you might find yourself checking every single coin you touch. Let's rewind for a moment to 1937. The Great Depression was easing, Franklin D. Roosevelt was president, and the average American was still struggling to make ends meet. The Lincoln wheat penny had already become a symbol of resilience, a tiny reminder that even in hard times, value could still be found in the smallest things. These pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones struck in Philadelphia bore no mint mark at all. On the surface, there was nothing remarkable about them. They were mass-produced, ordinary, until time, rarity, and collector demand turned them into something extraordinary. Now here's where things get interesting. Over the decades, millions of these 1937 pennies vanished from circulation. Lost, damaged, melted down, or hoarded away. But only a handful survived in pristine, untouched condition. These are the coins collectors dream about, the ones that can command staggering prices. In near-perfect condition, the 1937 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch over $937,000 on today's market. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a single penny. But how? What could possibly make such a common coin so valuable? It comes down to 3 key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. First, condition. The coin's surface, shine, and strike are everything. If your 1937 penny still shows Abraham Lincoln's crisp profile, visible wheat ears on the reverse, and minimal wear, you might be sitting on a fortune. Coins graded by experts as MS-68 red, that's mint state with brilliant color, are the crown jewels of the penny world. They are museum-worthy pieces, and collectors will pay almost anything to own them. Second, rarity. While millions were minted, only a small number have survived in top condition. Many were mishandled, scratched, or corroded over time. Finding one in uncirculated or near-perfect state is like finding a needle in a copper haystack. And that scarcity drives the price sky high. And third, demand. The Lincoln Wheat penny has one of the most loyal collector followings in all of numismatics. People who've been collecting for decades will pay extraordinary sums to complete their sets, especially for coins like the 1937 that bridge America's history and heritage. Now, imagine this. You're rummaging through an old family coin jar one afternoon. The sunlight hits a faded penny, and something about it feels different. You take a closer look. No mint mark. Lincoln's face still sharp. Could it be? First, you laugh it off. But a small voice inside says, "What if?" So, you check online or take it to a coin dealer, and suddenly, that tiny piece of copper could change your life. Here's a fun fact that surprises most people. The 1937 penny isn't made of pure copper. It's actually 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But its true worth has nothing to do with its metal content. It's all about story, scarcity, and survival. Each one is a survivor of time, a whisper from America's past that has somehow made it to the present. So, how do you know if you've got one worth big money? First, look for the details. If your penny is glossy and red-toned, it's likely in better condition. If it shows sharp edges on Lincoln's coat and the wheat stalks on the back, that's even better. But don't stop there. Get it professionally graded by an expert service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official certification, and that piece of paper could mean the difference between a $5 penny and a $900,000 fortune. Now, here's the part that might sting a little. Most 1937 pennies in circulation are only worth a few cents, maybe a few dollars if they're in good shape. But the rare, high-grade ones, those are the ones that make headlines. It's a sobering reminder that most people miss opportunities because they never bother to look closer. And isn't that true about life, too? Sometimes, the biggest rewards are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize them. But let's add a twist. What if you already own one and don't know it yet? Coins like these have been found in dusty shoeboxes, inherited collections, and even tucked inside old piggy banks. There's an excitement in that possibility, a spark of discovery that turns ordinary people into treasure hunters. Still, there's a catch. The coin market moves fast, and demand fluctuates. Right now, collectors are paying premium prices for high-grade 1937 pennies. But tomorrow, who knows? That's why it's so important to act while the market is hot. The difference between waiting a year and selling today could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's urgency you can't ignore. You might be thinking, but come on, how many people actually get rich from a penny? More than you think. Every year, ordinary Americans cash in on coins they never realized were rare. Some of them retire early. Others use their newfound wealth to pay off mortgages, travel the world, or help their families. It's not just about money. It's about freedom. Now, before you rush off to grab every penny in your house, remember, knowledge is your best investment. Learn to recognize the signs of rarity. Understand what makes one coin valuable and another worthless. Because in this world of hidden treasures, the ones who know what to look for are the ones who win. And if you're still watching, you already know this isn't just a story about a coin. It's a story about opportunity. The 1937 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that greatness doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides under decades of dust, waiting for someone with vision to uncover it. So, check your old jars, dig through that coin box, and never underestimate what's in your hands. That one overlooked penny could be your ticket to a new life, a new chapter, or even the kind of wealth you once thought was impossible. Because here's the truth. Fortune favors the curious. And maybe, just maybe, the next $1 million penny is already sitting right in your pocket. Before you go, make sure to subscribe for more stories of hidden coin treasures and real strategies to turn forgotten change into real wealth. Because if a penny can be worth $937,000, imagine what other secrets are waiting to be discovered. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep looking. You never know when your next small find might turn into a life-changing fortune. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure. Now, before you toss that old penny into the tip jar, you might want to take a closer look. Because one single 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to $967,000 today. Yeah, that's right, almost $1 million for a coin most people ignore while digging for quarters at the laundromat. So grab your coffee, your coin jar, and maybe a magnifying glass, because today we're diving deep into the 1967 Lincoln penny. We'll cover what makes it special, how to spot valuable errors, and why you might just have one of these hidden gems in your house right now. Let's start with a little backstory. The year was 1967, flower power, the Beatles were rocking, and gas was about 33 cents a gallon. The US Mint was busy pumping out Lincoln pennies, and here's the twist. None of them had mint marks. Yup, no little D for Denver or S for San Francisco, just plain OL pennies. Now, you might ask, why no mint mark? Good question. In 1965, the Mint was trying to discourage coin collecting because of the nationwide coin shortage. So, from 1965 to 1967, they removed mint marks altogether. That's right, the government literally said, "Stop collecting," which, of course, made collectors even more interested. Classic reverse psychology. Now, not every 1967 penny is a jackpot. Most are worth just face value, 1 cent. But a few rare ones, especially those with unique minting errors or in pristine condition, can fetch insane amounts. And I'm talking buy a new car kind of insane. Let me share a quick personal story here. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawer, the one full of random stuff like paper clips, batteries, and that one mysterious Allen wrench. I found an old coin roll my grandfather had saved. I opened it up, expecting nothing but dirty change. And there it was, a shiny 1967 penny. My heart started racing like I just found a golden ticket. I looked it up, grabbed a magnifying glass, and for about 15 minutes, I was sure I'd hit the $1 million jackpot. Spoiler alert, it was worth about $3. But hey, that's 299 more cents than I started with, and a great story. So what makes some 1967 pennies worth thousands or even close to $1 million? Let's break it down. First, condition. Collectors drool over uncirculated coins. Ones that look fresh off the press. If your penny still has that original reddish copper shine, you're in good shape. Coins graded MS, mint state, by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC are the ones bringing in the big bucks. Second, errors. Oh yes, the beautiful mistakes. Some 1967 pennies were struck off-center, doubled, or had die breaks, meaning the press that stamped them messed up just enough to make them unique. These oddities can multiply the value dramatically. For example, a 1967 penny with a strong double die on or could be worth thousands alone. Now here's where it gets wild. The record-breaking 1967 no-mint mark penny sold for a jaw-dropping $967,000 at auction. That's not a typo. The reason? It was a flawless example. Perfect condition, high luster, and rare as a unicorn wearing sunglasses. So, how can you check if your penny is worth something? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass or even your phone's zoom lens and inspect the coin carefully. Look at the lettering, the date, and Lincoln's features. If you see doubling, cracks, or off-center strikes, you might have a rare error coin. And if it looks brand new, you'll definitely want to get it graded professionally. If you're new to coin collecting, invest in some protective coin flips or holders. You don't want to handle coins too much, because oils from your fingers can damage them over time. Trust me, it's heartbreaking to realize your potential $1,000 coin is now worth 1 cent because of smudges. And remember, don't clean your coins. Ever. I know it's tempting to make that penny shine, but collectors prefer them untouched. Cleaning a coin can actually decrease its value faster than you can say, polished mistake. Another fun fact, in 1967, the Mint produced over 3 billion Lincoln pennies. So yeah, the odds aren't great that you'll find $1 million one. But hey, people win the lottery too, right? And unlike lottery tickets, you already own the pennies. So next time you find a 1967 penny in your change, don't just toss it in the jar. Take a closer look. That little coin could be the key to your next big payday. And even if it's not worth 6 figures, there's something special about holding a piece of history in your hand. A tiny reminder of a different time. Plus, who doesn't love the thrill of the hunt? Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning how to spot valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and ring that bell so you never miss out. I post tips, tricks, and real stories about coins worth serious money. And who knows, your story could be next. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and remember, Every penny counts, especially if it's worth $967,000. What if I told you that one of those brownish little pennies you've been ignoring in your change jar could actually be worth close to $1 million? Yep, I'm talking about the 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's turning heads in the collector world and might just turn your couch cushion change into a jackpot. So before you go dumping your coins into a Coinstar machine for a coffee fund, hang tight because you might be sitting on a fortune. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1979 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the little D below the date stands for. Over 6 billion of these pennies were made, which makes you think they're common, right? Well, yes and no. Most of them are worth 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if you count inflation, but some special ones with rare mint errors or pristine conditions can skyrocket in value. Now, here's where things get spicy. Imagine finding a 1979 D penny with a double die error. That's when the coin gets struck twice, causing Lincoln's face or the lettering to look slightly doubled. These can sell anywhere from a few $100s to thousands depending on how crisp the error is. And the rarest of the rare? The one that fetched an unbelievable $979,000 at auction. That's right, almost $1 million for one shiny little penny. Not bad for something you could find under your car seat. Here's the thing. Most of us walk around with little bits of history in our pockets and don't even realize it. And it's not just collectors or coin nerds who get lucky. I remember a few years back, my buddy Dave, not exactly a history buff, found a weird-looking penny stuck in the lint trap of his dryer. He thought it looked different and decided to check online before spending it. Turns out it was a minor error coin worth a few $100s. He was shocked, I was jealous, and now every time I do laundry, I double-check that lint trap like it's a gold mine. That's the beauty of coin collecting. You don't need to be an expert to find something valuable. You just need a sharp eye, a little patience, and maybe a magnifying glass. Let's talk condition, because this is where most coins sink or swim. If your 1979 D penny looks like it's been through 3 decades of pocket abuse, it's probably worth, well, a penny. But if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it looks shiny, has minimal scratches, and still has that fresh from the mint luster, then congratulations, you might have a winner. High-grade coins, especially those certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can bring in serious money. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Toning. Some collectors love those pennies that develop a rainbow-like coloration over time. It's like nature's artwork on copper. A beautifully toned 1979 D penny in mint condition? Collectors go wild for those, and the bids can climb faster than gas prices. You might be wondering, okay, so how do I actually check if my penny is valuable? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass, good lighting, and look closely at Lincoln's face, the lettering "In God We Trust," and the date. If you see doubling or weird marks that don't look like regular wear and tear, you could be onto something. Then, go online and compare it with verified images from reputable coin grading sites. And whatever you do, don't clean the coin. Seriously, cleaning it will drop the value faster than a bad stock pick. Let the experts handle that part. And if you're thinking this sounds too good to be true, remember, every big coin discovery story started with someone saying the same thing. The key is to stay curious. Even coins from the late 70s and early 80s, which most people think are too new to be valuable, can surprise you. Here's another quick tip. If you ever visit a local coin shop or coin show, bring a few of your interesting finds with you. Most dealers are happy to give a quick opinion, and sometimes they'll even spot an error or detail you missed. Plus, it's a great way to meet people who've been doing this for decades. And trust me, coin collectors have some wild stories. So, next time you're emptying your pockets or cleaning out that old piggy bank, take a closer look at those pennies, especially the 1979 D ones. You might not find $1 million coin right away, but who knows? That little copper piece might just be your lucky break. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money, smart collecting strategies, and how to turn your change into potential wealth, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week breaking down the hidden value of everyday coins. Remember, wealth isn't just about what's in your bank account. Sometimes, it's sitting quietly in your coin jar. So keep looking, keep learning, and keep believing that even the smallest penny can hold the biggest surprise. Thanks for watching, my friends, And may your next penny be a rare one. That you've reached the maximum length for this conversation, but you can keep talking by starting a new chat. Retry. Imagine finding a simple penny lying in your drawer. A penny you've ignored for years. It's tarnished, dull, and ordinary. But what if I told you that same coin, that little 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, could be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? Yes, you heard that right. Some of these rare pennies have sold for up to $200,000, and under the right conditions, experts say it could be worth millions. Now, before you start emptying your coin jars, let's uncover the hidden truth behind this seemingly average 1-cent coin that could secretly make you rich. It all begins with a story of precision and imperfection. In the year 2000, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were flawless, but a few, very few, escaped the mint with remarkable errors and variations that turned them into treasures. These mistakes, invisible to the average eye, became golden tickets for coin collectors and dealers who know exactly what to look for. The kind of coins that can change someone's financial future overnight. Now, why the no mint mark? Coins from Philadelphia often lack a mint mark, and while that seems normal, here's the twist. The 2000 no mint mark penny hides some striking varieties. There's the wide AM reverse, for instance. Instead of the usual narrow spacing between the letters A and M in America, the wide AM variety shows a distinct gap, something that shouldn't exist on a 2000 coin at all. That small difference can mean the difference between 1 cent and 6 figures. Funny how 1 millimeter can decide your fortune, isn't it? Collectors hunt for these details like treasure maps. They use magnifying glasses, microscopes, and even special lighting to detect doubling on the obverse, the front of the coin, where Lincoln's profile or the lettering might appear doubled. A true doubled die 2000 penny can fetch unimaginable prices, depending on its condition and rarity. One verified specimen sold for nearly $200,000 at auction, and experts predict that if another flawless example ever surfaces, it could break the $1 million mark. Now think about that for a second. Penny worth $1 million. A coin that costs less than a stick of gum, transforming into a life-changing windfall. It's the kind of story we love to hear because it sparks something inside us. The thrill of possibility, the idea that wealth could be sitting right under our noses, maybe even jingling in your pocket right now. But let's take a step back. What makes a coin reach those stratospheric values? It's not just rarity, it's demand. Serious collectors, investors, and museums compete to own pieces of history. They see these coins as time capsules, frozen moments of America's minting legacy. And when competition ignites, the prices explode. You don't just sell a coin. You auction off a dream, a piece of mystery, and a proof that perfection sometimes comes from imperfection. The emotional side of this is powerful. Imagine showing your family that a coin you picked up off the floor could pay off your home, fund your retirement, or set up your grandkids for life. That feeling of discovering hidden wealth in the ordinary is exactly what keeps coin collecting alive across generations. It's not just a hobby. It's an adventure into history, economics, and luck all at once, of course. Not every 2000 penny will make you rich. Most are still worth a cent. Some might fetch a few dollars if they're uncirculated or have minor toning. But that's where the thrill lies. You never know until you look. And isn't that what opportunity is all about? Taking a chance on something most people overlook? The rare wide AM or double die pennies are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with patience and curiosity to notice them. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. You might be wondering, how can I tell if my 2000 no mint mark penny is the valuable kind? The secret is in the details. On the back, look closely at the word America. If there's a noticeable space between the A and M, you could be holding a wide AM variety, one that was mistakenly struck using an older die from 1998 or 1999. That little mix-up created a handful of rare coins, and collectors pay top dollar for them. On the front, check Lincoln's ear and the word Liberty. Any signs of doubling or distortion there could mean you've hit the jackpot. And don't forget about condition. A coin's grade, how pristine it is, can multiply its value several times over. A circulated coin might sell for hundreds, while a mint state example, sealed and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, could soar into the hundreds of thousands. If it's flawless enough, well, the sky's the limit. You might think, why would anyone pay so much for a penny? And that's the magic of collecting. It's not about what the coin is worth to the world. It's about what it represents to those who seek it. History, error, rarity, beauty, even a hint of rebellion against mass production. Each coin tells a story no machine could perfectly replicate. And when you combine that with human desire and scarcity, you get astronomical prices. But here's a little humor to break the tension. If you've ever handed out pennies at the grocery store, you might have accidentally given away a small fortune. Maybe it's time to start checking your change before tipping the barista. Just saying. The truth is, the 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a symbol of what's possible when you start paying attention. Wealth doesn't always come from new ideas or lucky investments. It sometimes hides in the smallest, most unassuming corners of our lives. The people who find these rare pennies aren't necessarily experts. They're ordinary people who decided to look closer, to study, to learn what others ignore. That mindset is what separates those who stumble upon fortune from those who walk right past it. And there's urgency here. As time passes, coins degrade, get lost, or are destroyed. Every year, fewer of these rare examples remain in existence. That means the value of high-grade, error-free specimens will only go up. If you've been sitting on a jar of old coins, now is the time to check them. Each passing day could mean another collector adds one more rare coin to their collection, and one less opportunity for you. It's thrilling to imagine what your next discovery could be. You might pull out an ordinary penny, turn it in the light, and suddenly realize that the AM spacing isn't what it should be. Your heart races. You start Googling. You compare it with photos of the wide AM variety. And then it hits you, you could be holding a six-figure treasure. That adrenaline rush? That's the spark of discovery. The feeling that transforms everyday people into collectors and collectors into millionaires. But the real value of these coins goes beyond money. It's about rediscovering attention, curiosity, and the excitement of the unknown. It reminds us that hidden opportunities surround us all the time, waiting to be recognized. Sometimes they're shiny, sometimes they're small, and sometimes they're made of copper. So, the next time you find a 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, don't toss it aside. Don't assume it's worthless, because within that tiny coin might lie the key to your next great chapter. A chapter where your curiosity and persistence pay off in the most unexpected way. If you've made it this far, you already have the mindset of a treasure hunter. Keep that spirit alive. Examine your coins, learn their stories, and you might just uncover a fortune that others overlook. And remember this, wealth doesn't always come from chasing what's new. Sometimes, it comes from appreciating what's been right in front of you all along. So before you go, take a moment. Go check your coins, because that little 2000 penny in your drawer might not just be 1 cent. It could be your gateway to a wealthy new life. And if you want to stay one step ahead of the next big coin discovery, make sure you subscribe, because your next $1 million coin story could start right here with you.